Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. My, how time moves very quickly. Feels like only yesterday was March. And now it's November, and we have the Fed meeting coming, and the Feds are announcing tomorrow that they are going to raise interest rates 75 basis points. Everybody knows this. Nothing unusual, nothing special, other than what? Their forward guidance and what they're going to say. I want people to really focus on that when they think about tomorrow. Don't just focus on the 75 basis points. Don't just focus on what everyone knows. The market is always reactionary to things it's not familiar with. I've said it over and over. My forecast is this. Now, again, don't hold me to it because I'm not a Fed member. People say, oh, you're a market maker. You know what's going on. No. My anticipation is they do not want to tank the market in front of an election. Being down the last couple of days is actually the best thing possible for the market because, again, 2-day, 3-day ranges, reloads, potentially goes higher. If you have any questions about whether you want to hold something, fold, whatever, have a plan. Do not just fly blindly because if you've watched the Back to Basics series on what? The Fed, the Monday and Tuesday before. We have a whole video on this. Let me see if it's in here. It's in here somewhere. But my point being is the Monday and Tuesday are pretty, what I would consider bland, choppy, pullbacks potentially if the market's been up, the market's been down, maybe counter rallies. Keep it very simple. You also have earnings. As we've said, earnings ebbs and flows, starts up, then down, then up, potentially after if you come into what I'd consider the earnings cycle after being down. Keep in mind, the markets have been down a lot going into this. And so at this point, it's 50-50, still expecting higher prices at some point, but do not be surprised by the up and down action and do not get caught out of bounds, timeout, no, just off guard by the extremes tomorrow. It's just one of those things talked about today in the Discord room. If you had gains on certain things and you wanted to take profits, absolutely should have done it. All right, quick little housekeeping. I appreciate if you guys could hit the like button. If you're following for the first time and you need to subscribe, check the notification bell. I promise. I'm doing live chats almost every day now. And if you want to follow, want to get the alerts, that's what you got to do. If you want to be part of the Discord room, I booted, 24 interacting, 90. I think I cut like 80 people out today. Had nothing to do with them personally. It's just if you're not involved, I want to make room for someone else who wants to. If you do, please let me know. I appreciate knowing people's stories, background, just kind of see where they're at in trading. Because again, trading is difficult. And this is not meant for everybody. Bitcoin, yawner, moving on. No, I'm just kidding. It's just chopping. I mean, if you bought near the lows, needs to hold. If not, set your stops. Real simple. Nat gas, pretty wild day, up and down. I mean, you got up to what, 638, pulled all the way back down. Man, these are big moves. I would be watching previous support here in the 580s. If you buy not gas, again, trade it or just as I would assume and what you should assume. It's not going to be easy. The trend is what it is, but this thing is volatile. So you have to trade around your position or just wait. If you got in near the lows, I wouldn't watch it every damn day. I think it's always amazing to me how some people literally have nothing better to do in the sense of that they expect something to move in their favor. And if something is actually extremely volatile, then you shouldn't expect it. Oil. Congratulations if you bought yesterday like we recommended. Remember, 76 is important. That's the make or break stop. But this next area, around 82, 83, we talked about you could buy. Pulled back yesterday, closed at the highs. I've said this and I'll say it for the thousandth time. If that's an actual number. No, I'm just kidding. I expect the Feds to be slightly dovish, kind of like, oh, we got to wait for more data. Inflation's not, it's not 2%, but it's also coming down. We're going to give it some time. You want to see the Feds crank up rates, you want to see the market tank more, you need oil and gas to rise. Oil, gas, commodities, whatever. Put everything in the basket. Put it all in the commodity basket. Take it shopping. That's what you need to see if you want to expect the market to go lower. The dollar, all over the place. Not surprised. Everyone's like, oh, it's a bull flag. It's about to break up. Break up, bro. No, I'm actually under the impression that we've had some distributive action up here at the highs. I wouldn't be surprised if you pull back. You know, we talked about the W bottom. I mean, I'm not personally long-term bearish on the dollar by any means, but I do anticipate what? In an uptrend, you get pullbacks. Wow, I love, you know how we talked, who was around? Who was around for the Fibonacci sequencing when the lines line up? I forgot to draw that, and I wanted to do it live. Look at that, 25, 100-day, 0.382, an old trend line. 0.618, another major area. Now again, perfection, no. Pretty solid though. Pretty solid stuff. I mean, I remember this little funky trend line. Again, you can kind of pull this stuff out of nowhere if you really want to. But again, point of control, point of control, point of control. 100-day. I mean, it looks like the move is over. Now again, does that mean that it can't go higher? I mean, I'll be remiss to pretend that I have a 100% track record. Dan is never wrong. No, but Dan trades the probabilities. Oh, but he's got that Livermore sense. No, it's just based on looking at the charts for so long and the evidence and the mounting amount of data I've studied and the repeating patterns. As many as people, many people study the intraday action. I study the past. I look for repeating patterns. This to me, flagging, looks a little more distributive with the down moves, but we'll see. It all depends on what the Feds say. And don't be surprised if it does rally back, maybe up into the low 30s, then pulls back. I am not under the impression the dollar is going to continue higher, close out the year, but I could be wrong. Bonds, I've said this, watch the 20-day, coming up into it. I personally do not believe if interest rates can sustain going lower, TLT higher, if inflation is going to crank up. Now, near term, I mean, this is where it gets hard. I mean, I could see us get over the 20-day. Maybe we touch the old channel highs, touch and go. I mean, you got like a old backside trend line. I mean, you got all sorts of things coming in here. I just personally think if you're, I don't know, smart, thoughtful, you just say, all right, well, I don't really know. I don't really have a trade here. So, I mean, just be thoughtful. I'm not one of those people that, again, I don't believe interest rates are going dramatically higher nor lower. I think they could get stuck. However, I think the key for higher and lower interest rates are all about what the Fed's future forecasts are. Because if inflation kicks up, they will strangle the market and raise rates higher. But I also think they need to get rates down as fast as possible because of budget deficits. Okay? All right. Here you go. The VIX. I mean, nobody but your boy here said, the VIX is not confirming the SPY breakdown. Retest the highs. Failed. We said, this is bullish. And every day, we said, no, when you break the 20-day, even more bullish. Now we're here at support. Could it pop back up in the 28s? That wouldn't be surprised. I still think at some point you're getting 23 level or fills the gap. So, SPY. Multiple, here you go. 2-day range. After a big move, consolidate. Big move, 3 days. I mean, at this point, I'm not seeing anything that I'm red flagging other than the 100-day. But last time you got up to the 100-day, you kind of consolidated. I still think you get up to the maybe 410, 415. Again, but you're at a spot where if you had profits, that's why we talked about, hey, you should take some today. I mean, I got idiots screaming 370. I mean, 370. Wow, tomorrow, man, that is just bonkers to me. I'm not seeing it. Again, I don't think the Feds are going to tank the market. They would own it. Biden would go, and Cummins would go, everybody, it's the Fed's fault. We aren't the problem, which, of course, we know they're lying. Tech, very interesting today that on the first day of the month, nobody was buying large cap tech. Is anyone surprised? Dan's been saying laggards lag, leaders lead. Leave the laggards alone. Now QQQ. If it does rally, probably 290s. And not that strong. IWM. Here you go. Rallying up. 200-day. I mean, this action, could it be this in 3 days back? Or could it be this? Again, this is why you take profits and you trade around your position. I'm always amazed with people who are like, this has to happen. This, that. It's not that simple, y'all. This is why in a trend, the more you're up, the less profit. The more you're up, the less you own. You trade around your core position. If you sold some today, now you watch. Now if it backs up and it holds around like 182, 180, now again, keep in mind, things could get extremely volatile post-Feds. I would probably watch the 100-day there. I would watch that area. I mean, 180. That would be a probably screaming gift worth buying on the first touch. Just, that's my thoughts. You tell me. Right? You tell me. Gold. Probably basing. Everybody hates it. Kidco's putting out negative news. It's probably going to bounce. How high? Again, your guess. I mean, I'm not interested in gold in this stuff because it's just 7 months straight down. Probably not going to make 8. I've said this over and over. The seasonality is key with this stuff. I love it in December. Tax loss selling. Silver acting better. Right? Acting better. I mean, do we get back up into the 19-20 range? Maybe hit the 200-day. Just this stuff doesn't get me excited. I'm so excited, but I can't just hide it. Just kidding. I know. I'm not that excited. No, I'm just not. GDXJ, we like this stuff way better when the bull market in metal starts. Right? Yeah. Well, at this point, now what? I mean, I would argue it probably, if the market's going higher, probably can get back up into the 32s. I mean, at this point, I'm not buying at 30 for a 32 move. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I can just be safer elsewhere. This is just like racking my brain because every day someone's like, tell me this. I'm like, what if I told you the answer is it's going to do very little? Whoa. What you mean? You mean stocks don't always have to be going higher and lower? No, there's a little secret. Stocks go up a third of the time. They go down a third of the time. And then they chop a third of the time. And in a bull market, the third of the time up is stronger than the down. And a third of the time in a bear market, the stronger is down. Sorry, the bull market's up, third is up. It's really that simple. Whatever. AG. Yeah, nicely acting. Maybe coming into the 9-10 range. Apologize, I didn't save my charts and everything had to be completely rerun. It just, is what it is at this point. AEM. I think a lot of people look at the chart and they go, Dan, you said you like this all along. Yeah, it's holding up better. It really is confirming why I like it. Now at this point, you're into the resistance, but if this is a strong name, could it rally up to 50? Not bad. Not too shabby. Newmont, moving right along. People are like, why do you watch this stock? Because it's literally the biggest part of the gold miner indexes. It's everywhere. Dog crap. Sideways. Sitting sideways. We don't want the large monsters when it comes to the future of this stuff. We just want the juniors. In the bull market, the juniors will get bought. They will trade at premiums. Newmont will trade at discounts and expanding multiples, but they might end up having to what? Dilute the balance sheet or delete their share count. Yeah, pass. I don't even have anything to say. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. AMD after hours up at 62. We've talked about this. Your guess is good as mine. We told you the Head and Shoulders in November, December. Game over. Adios. Arrivederci. And everyone still wants to buy it. We talked about you could buy it here. Look at that. Perfectly timed that one. Now it's down at the lows. It's kind of like cradling down. I don't know. I don't know. Tech is just crappy. Told you. They lose the tech war. You're playing with the losers. I don't want to play with the losers. Upper left, lower right. These are all losers. 50-day NVIDIA, I don't know. Maybe you get back up into this 100-day 150. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I don't really have a good feel because once the momentum is lost out of a name, I mean, you're basically betting on a short squeeze, which I don't know what's going to trigger a short squeeze in some of these names. Like, they're just really that shorty. Like, again, they're just not, that's not bad. Everyone's going, oh, 106 to 137. Yeah, no, duh. I'm not arguing that's bad. But I am arguing that at this point, it's not going back to 350. So I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. And sometimes that's what you have to admit to yourself. I don't know. I like SMH, though, up to like 200. We talked about this. So if that carries NVIDIA up another 10, 15 points, that's always possible. Just not much to say. Apple, again, Adobe. All this money in tech didn't come in today. 50-day, maybe chopping. I don't know. Apple really hesitant. Wanted to pull the trigger yesterday. Wanted to pull the trigger today. I'm like, you're breaking your own rules, man. Lay off tech. It's just a big choppy, sloppy pattern now. If you want to play Apple because it looks stronger, I get it. Amazon, another one. No, I think it's worth buying. No, I mean, it feels like this. And if this is the gap and it continues to chop lower, remember May, June, other commodities went higher. This just happened to catch nothing and then a little bounce. Easier trades out there. CRM. Man, not much. Google. Making new lows. This volume is so distributed. I mean, everybody and their mom is just like, oh, I got to get out of this stuff. And the irony is what we told you. At some point, this stuff is uninvestable because tech has no pricing power, in my opinion, at a certain point. Now, software advertisements, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, this could be capitulatory near term, too. Like, that's the hardest part here. Do you want to short now? I don't think so. No. I don't think so. Could this be a little bear trap? Maybe. Meta bounced today. TikTok being removed from the USA. I mean, just come on. This chart is busted. If you want to trade it, I guess. But I don't know what to say. This is just like, when they say catch the proverbial knife. I don't even think it's the proverbial knife catching at this point. Like, it's just weak. I don't think there's much up in it. People are like, oh, it's going to get to 100, 110. There's idiots on FinTwit that are just screaming buy this. And if it pops 5 points, they're going to be like, oh, that was a huge win. Oh, we killed it. I don't know, man. There's going to be other names just moving just as better, if not better. Remember, when the market goes down and things destroy, money isn't destroyed, it rotates. Like, it's just taking profits. Like, it's going somewhere, and you're about to find out where. Remember, upper left, lower right, all these stocks. Bleh! Bleh! Not really that interested, and not meaning that they can't bounce. Again, Microsoft likes a lower dollar. Maybe this bounces. It's not blowing out like some of the other ones, but again, I look at the long-term chart, and I see the backside of Mount Everest. NDAQ, the Coinbase of the NASDAQ, I'm telling y'all, when the bow breaks and the treetops, no, it's, I wouldn't own this long term at all. I mean, they're going to lose all their volume when all these stocks trade like dinosaurs and they go nowhere. And people are like, I have no desire to trade Meta. I don't have any desire to trade any of these. MicroStrategy, I think they had earnings after the close. Clearly not that much action, which is interesting. Maybe it's before. I don't know. Point being is the stock held up pretty well. If you were long it, that close is just not very ideal. The volume isn't great. So you got to watch probably the 248 area, 250. Netflix took profits on this hesitantly, but said, you know what? I'll take my 50 points. We bought it right before earnings, small risk. We said this is a big consolidation pattern. I mean, it looks like a W with a fry handle. You know, if you work at McDonald's, kind of like this, or not. Stop it, Dan. Get your thoughts together. If you worked flipping burgers, this was probably like the little tool you'd be using, or this is a pan if you're cooking. Either way, it's it's a bottoming pattern with a huge, what you consider like, the market maker has to absorb all this action, especially here. They gap it up, they move it up. I mean, could it get to 3 hundo? Maybe. Took the profit, better names in my opinion. Roblox, this is hard. I feel like tech is like pulling teeth here. I don't know. Your guess is good as mine. Trend line problems, maybe up into the 50s. Tesla holding up pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know if you're familiar with Curb Enthusiasm, but Larry David. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Bear trap, rallying, gotta hold the 20-day. Just keep it that simple. Man, let's get off of this sector. It's absolute poo. X, we talk about steel holding, long-term base. Now, again, I expect you're going to have to trade this. But it's got limited downside. I think you hold the 20-day, can probably rally back up into the 22s. Remember, this is what I talked about. It'd get up here. Well, guess what? If it gets over that, you can get to the 25 area by the 200-day. Nucor, talked about in the live chat today. I'm like, hey, watch like 130. Zing right back. Again, notice these stocks versus tech stocks. You tell me you want to own tech? Great. I sleep way better owning this kind of stuff. VALE, interesting results of the election. I don't know how friendly this new president's going to be. I like the idea of them spinning off. There's definitely a ton of volume churning here. Keep an eye on this. Arrow, nice pop with, like, clearly copper popper. Hey, copper popper. Copper? Like, as in a police officer, or copper John? I don't know. You get my point. Nice little, again, it's acting better. You're not worried about your downside unless the market flushes. CCJ, we talked about it breaking out over the 2270. You could get up to high. This day added whatever. Now you're pulling back. I still anticipate to buy this in the long run at a much significant lower price, like 18. But if it holds up, it holds up. I'm going to go real quick into UAN because I just kind of want people to look at this. Like, this is a commodity fertilizer name, whatever. CRV. Man, that's right. It's CVR Partners. It's interesting. I can't remember. All these companies used to be so many different tickers, and they merge. I think this one's Agrium, if I'm correct. I don't know. Whatever. Held the channel lows, rallied back strong. CF. Now, again, they got earnings. Them and NTR after the close. This action we've seen long wicks before, tight action. If you bought down here in the 90s, or you bought down, the first time in the low 90s. No, sorry, not the low 90s. We bought the 100-day. I'm like, what? I'm like, no. The head and shoulders here. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. You can trade around it. Every day, like up 6-7 points, down 5, 6. There's a tradable stock. The key is what? This 108. Mid 108s. Be careful. Lower your risk going into earnings. Second mouse gets the cheese. Something bad happens like UAN, it'll probably rally back. I've reduced my exposure. I'm holding some through. If you have options, do not have this week's. Have some time. Mosaic holding up. Got to get over the 200-day. NTR. We said I said I like this better. Why? Getting over the 20-day, breaking the downtrends, back testing the downtrends, making higher highs. It looks pretty good. Aaron, Alcoa. You're welcome. We talked about the big boys. We're going to support their price action right here. Again, watch the videos. Not surprised. Little gap up. Any weakness, I'm buying this. Again, I'm trying to follow the wake of the monster whales. You and I ain't trading how many shares of this? What is it? 37 million shares on that action on earnings? Nope. No, we're not. Our shares don't do diddly crap. A fart in the wind. Flea on the dog's paw. Whatever. Nothing. But pull back 20-day. Ring a bell. Maybe buy. If the market's holding up, I think you can buy it. XBI. Talked about it. Holding up. Not bad. Bought it down here at the channel range lows. Know your stops. This is the thing about any stock or any trade. If you were just blindly holding because I think it looks good, you, my friend, at some point will find yourself stuck. Because the evidence can change. I can change my opinion based on the evidence, as you should too. Keep that in mind. We're going into a big day tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if things get what I would call whiplashes. Like, whoosh, up and down, up and down. Whoosh. Remember, election, though, next week. XLF. The market isn't going to tank. All these folks who are screaming, tech, the end of the world. It's like financials are actually more important. Now I know tech is like the bellwethers, but financials are like the actual like meat and potatoes of the markets. Like if financials are stable and doing well, the market won't be that scary, right? Keep in mind. Now again, there can be times where things have to do with interest rates, but in general, looking pretty strong. Like Morgan Stanley today, making higher highs off the lows. Doesn't look bearish. Real man of genius. This is to you, Jamie Dimon, again for blowing people out, getting to sell your stock at 100 to rally it. Man, another higher, 128. Real men of genius. I mean, JP Morgan just made their quarter in the first week. Congratulations. You guys have done some magic. No buyback. Going through earnings that were crap-ish. Rallies back. That's impressive. I mean, you got to call it what it is. Solar. Leave it alone. Don't go shorting it yet. Now it pops up, closes back. I mean, again, light volume. No. I mean, if we expect commodities to go higher, I don't want to short solar yet. ENPH, we talked about this gap up. Doji would go higher. Well, okay. Well, you made a higher high. It still has a higher low. I mean, light volume. I think people who are going to over leverage are going to get puked tomorrow. Sedge, even this piece of junk, higher high, higher low. I mean, the candle ain't pretty. First solar, I tried to sound the bat signal. Watch for the one. I mean, I've said, please don't short this stock. After we got out, please don't short this stock. And again, you could have traded it, but now what? And now people are like shorting all the way. I mean, I get a DM every once in a while like, hey, I really screwed this up. What do you think? You didn't have stops. You didn't listen to the action of the market. You trusted twit, idiot, whatever. Now what? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. Because we called that. Y'all remember that. I mean, check out the monthly. I told you, the 164s. There's some fibs on that. Now people are like, what are you talking about, Dan? Okay, here you go. Check out the monthly. You can see it. You got some resistance up here. Now it's acting like a tractor beam. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can have 6 green candles. I mean, I will say this for a fact. 7 is, remember, the market likes odd numbers. I don't know why. 3s, 5s, and 7s. Maybe 7 is the month to touch. Touchy. I don't know, man. Just people want to make it confusing and hard. Like USO, we talked about it yesterday. Hey, congratulations if you bought at the 50-100-day cross around 71. Bounces up to 73. Doesn't look bad. We've said this. I mean, at worst, I think you're getting to 76. Maybe even get up into the 80s. Higher oil goes, the more the feds are screwed. If you are a long-term bear, let me accentuate that. You need to see oil go higher, in my opinion, if you want to get the feds to act more aggressively. Nat gas pulls back to the trend line. Decent volume. I mean, you could take stabs in this and just, again, be safe, be smart, be thoughtful. And when I say that, meaning this is a volatile, wild little vixen. Wild little, whatever you want to call it. Wild stallion. Choppy. Sloppy. But if you're trying to accumulate at the lows, you're not whining and complaining like some people are. You're just, your risk tolerance. You expect what you expect. ExxonMobil. Hammer at the highs. Again, nobody believed me when I said I would not be shorting at 87, 88 if the market repeats this pattern of up in oil. I said I think this, at some point I was like, I think this will get to new highs. And I said it. I probably didn't say it at 87. Probably said it in the 90s. But now you're at new highs. Now what? I'm not really seeing anything that makes me go, I need to short this. I'm trying to look at the monthly. Just give me 2 seconds. I had some drawing. All I like to do. The next resistance. It's going to pop here. I'm going to watch this. This is why I love Q charts. I'm going to duplicate on all the charts. Boink. There's your monthly trend line right there that I just drew. It looks pretty straight, but it's not. Remember, it's at an angle. There it is. 116. There it is. Now, it gets to 117. You're an idiot. 150. Just watch the area, please. I get so annoyed with, not annoyed is the wrong word, because I don't care. I'm just like, do people really think that commenting on FinTwit about things that don't matter. Like your opinion matters to me, just like my opinion would matter. No, you don't care. I mean, I hope you don't care what I think. Just like, but should I care what you think? No. I mean, oh, you're an idiot. No, we talked about going higher. The Oxy train. Everyone's hooked on Oxy. Buffett loves it. Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's gonna, I don't know, get up to 79 at some point. We'll see what happens. End it with EQT. What a wild beast. Liked it, loved it, hated it, gave up on it. Holding the 200-day. They're positioning with their futures trading. Somebody needs, call me. You need to learn how to trade natural gas and oil. I'll give you some pointers. I mean, you guys lost, I think, $5 billion in derivatives. Was it last quarter or year to date? Still, either way, it's like you're an oil and gas company. Sub out your trading capacities to someone who actually knows. I mean, I can't imagine. Imagine if I worked for an oil and gas company and I lost $5 billion on derivatives. I mean, you might as well fire me because I'm going to get a job as a weatherman. All right. I appreciate the love, support, donations. Again, the donations mean a lot to me. Whether it's $5 or $5 million, it shows that you understand the cost of this tuition, education bill, whatever you want to call it, is being severely dropped because you're learning from someone who's actually paid the cost. Paid the cost. It's part of learning. I mean, and this is in general. I mean, pretend like this is talking about crocheting, basketball, woodworking, electronics, whatever. I mean, you learn from your mistakes. You learn from overcoming adversity. You have to keep trying. Hopefully I'm helping folks out. That's my goal here. Please like, subscribe, share. And again, share with people you think might actually use this. Now, again, the free content, I don't care. But if you want to be in the Discord room, I'm going to need to see your W-2, your pay stubs, and your rental history. No, sorry, that's a rental application. No, I just want to talk. See what you're at. Because again, this isn't really for beginners. It's for people who are like me at some point. You struggled, you sucked, and now you're trying to be better. All right. I will see y'all when I see you. Please be safe tomorrow. Please. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, your PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.